week, I did a figure and gesture drawing every day for an hour. If you don't know the difference between the two, imagine gesture drawing as capturing a snapshot of whatever you're trying to draw. The feel and the emotion of the reference is the snapshot. A figure drawing, instead, is a longer form study of the structure that you're trying to draw. With this challenge, I'm hoping to uncover if constant input and output is really the most effective way to learn to draw and better your art skills. During this week, I often woke up and jumped right into drawing for an hour straight on top of my usual routine, which resulted in 5 hours total drawing every day for this week. So let's see if it really did anything. But before we get into all of that, hello everyone, I'm Nana. I'm a digital and traditional artist with an aspiration for story creation, character design, and I'm currently working on my own story about sins, virtues, and the creation of the world, so stick around with me while I develop it. So for this challenge, I visited Sketch Daily every day, and what I like about the website is the fact you can time your work and pick what type of references you want to sift through. For me, I left all options open and opted for full body drawings to part body drawings. Time, I chose around 2 to 10 minutes per drawing. I think that's enough to capture the structure of the drawings, but little enough to force you to focus. Anything beyond that, if you're a kind of artist like me, you'll get bogged down in perfecting the figure drawing that you won't really get anywhere in a timely manner. Over the course of day 1, it was pretty easy. I had actually watched a YouTube video by an art YouTuber who that suggested it, then decided to give it a test for an hour. I wasn't aware of the challenge until a day later when I thought it would be fun. With that being said, this day went by very easily and without much difficulty. Day 2. By this day, I was already over it. I had only done the challenge for one day, which is a little embarrassing to say that I was so incredibly tired to take a break around 26 minutes into the drawing. I laid down and let myself get lost until I remember I had things to do and eventually finished nearly midnight. Day 3. This day went by a little bit easier. I drew all the way through, but what I noticed was that I had stopped drawing heads first, which I learned I shouldn't be doing anyway. My father, who's a graphic designer and artist, informed me that I shouldn't be drawing heads first, and now I finally see why. I didn't realize how much doing so was throwing off my ability to build flowing bodies because I was busy building around the head first. Day 4 was a disappointment. I didn't make it to the full hour. I want to blame it on my sleep the night before. I had no energy to stay awake and draw bodies for another hour this week. I took a break 20 minutes into the drawing, then returned for another 10 minutes, making a total of 30 minutes drawing total. So this day was a fail. Day 5. By day 5, I was noticing my art being more dynamic, but also using references was incredibly easy. I was able to get a good sketch in like 10 minutes for this drawing, then digitizing it, I felt more at ease when it comes to shadows and folds. As for the challenge, I was becoming incredibly burnt out. I also wanted so badly to just lay down and scroll on my phone, so I decided I'd draw whatever shorts came up on my feed. A few people drawings and one or another machine drawings, but I quickly got bored of that. This only works if your feed is exclusively people, but if you're an artist, then it's likely your feed is OCs, anime, and comics, which makes this not helpful. Day 6. Day 6 came and I was so very exhausted by this point. My days were growing consumed with art, which is not a bad thing, but my back is killing me. I was just hunched over a sketchbook for so long this week. As for the challenge, day 6 was easier than day 1. However, since I was so burnt out from doing several sketches, I took more time to do fewer sketches. This was the day I spent around 10 minutes per drawing, resulting in 6 or 7 sketches in comparison to my other days, where I have about 10 sketches per page and around 3 pages per day. I did want to record myself drawing the last day, but I couldn't bring myself to do it. My phone has no storage for an hour-long video. But finally, a relief from the torture. This day was pretty easy and I could revel in the fact that I didn't have to do this anymore. It felt fun again, but that's probably just the joy seeping through of the fact that I don't have to draw for an hour for the rest of these days. The results. 6 of 7 days completed, average of 3 pages per day, about 10 sketches per page, making a total of around 200 sketches in the span of a week. And in my divine opinion, I think an hour a day is beyond overkill. All of that is not necessary to better your art, but I can see the improvement from it too, so no artists, YouTubers can jump down my neck just in case you're pushing this. This is helpful, but I would suggest that instead of doing this an hour every day and committing to a schedule for your art you may or may not be able to commit to, just warming up for 5 or 10 minutes before working on pieces should be more than enough. I'd also add that taking breaks can also be the best thing for your art. Between my 4th and 5th day, where I failed the 4th day, I did notice some change in my art. My sketches came easier, it was easier to design a focal point and define folds, so a break might have been exactly what I needed, as opposed to outpouring sketches. I'd also like to say that perfect practice is much better than a lot of practice. When I say that, I don't mean perfect anatomy, perfect shading, or anything like that, but rather being focused and retaining what you're drawing is what makes the practice perfect. Working on spotting techniques among your references can do you more good than always practicing. With that being said, don't do figure sketches every day for an hour. Practice is good, but only focused practice. You can get a lot more out of 30 minutes than you can get in an hour and likely avoid burnout in the process. I'm Nana, and I hope you enjoyed.